Hello everyone, welcome to the video, and today we're going to be going over one of the best movement guides you're going to be able to see on controller. So I'm going to try to cover pretty much everything, so I'm going to be starting off with some of the basic things and then get into some of the very advanced things. If you are more on that end of the spectrum, this will still help you out a lot. But before we get into the video, I would like to ask you guys to not only drop a sub here, but to please follow me on Twitch. I'm going to put the link in the description. It would help me out a lot, and I would really appreciate it. So let's get right into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is obviously the very basic, and this is slide jumping. So I feel like if you're just a beginner, this is going to help you out a lot, but all the experienced players have already been doing this. So basically you just slide and then jump. It's very basic, and this is going to be the basic movement for you just getting across the map, going from point A to point B. It's much faster than just regular sprinting, so you're going to want to get in the habit of just doing this all the time. So the next thing I want to talk about is bunny hopping. So I'm going to be putting up clips to just show you guys exactly how it's done, but basically I play on toggle to crouch, so it's a little bit different for me. But the premise of it is just to hold down the crouch button and then jump at the same time. You want to time it right, so the second you hit the ground you want to jump, and then that way you'll be able to, it'll look something like this. But if you play on toggle to crouch like me, it's a little bit different. You have to let go of the crouch button and click it back in at the perfect timing. It's a little bit harder, so playing on hold to crouch makes this much easier. And this is useful for if you just start a heal, you can get a couple bunny hops in, or if you play on Octane, you can bunny hop while healing the entire time. So it is very effective, especially if you just need to get around the corner and it makes you a little bit harder to hit. So it could be useful in a couple different scenarios. But the next thing I want to talk about is wall jumping. So wall jumping is a very situational thing, but it can help you out a lot, and during gunfights you could even do it to throw off your enemy. But basically how you wall jump is you run into the wall at kind of an angle, you jump, you turn towards the wall, and then what I do is, since I have paddles, I will spam one of my jump paddles so that the second I hit the wall I don't have to time it right. I just spam jump and I will hit the wall and then jump off. And when you jump off, you want to redirect away from the wall. So basically you should be running towards the wall, jump, face the wall so that you can grab onto it and then jump off of it. And then you want to turn away from the wall to carry your momentum in another direction. So as you can see here on this clip, you could also do it in a different way where you could redirect over the wall. If it's a straight wall like this, you can redirect over the wall and get over it like that. But also it's really useful for using it on walls that come to an L shape. So you can jump off of the right side of the wall and then jump over the other side, as you can see here as I'm doing it on the rocks. It's very useful for a lot of different situations since a lot of walls are generally shaped like this. I know a couple of the ones outside of construction building are shaped like this, and it helps out a lot when you're just trying to get away from somebody or if you want to make a flashy play. Wall jumping is always useful in that aspect. So the next thing I want to talk about is crouch strafing, and this is basically going to be your main form of movement during fights and one-on-one altercations. So basically you just want to put a little strafe in, move left to right, as you can see here I'm doing in this clip, and then you want to throw a little crouch into it. You want to do it at a moderate speed because I know a lot of people who have hold to crouch on, and if you crouch spam too fast, you really won't even be moving at all. So you're just going to be like, since you're moving too fast and you're going up and down too fast, your character model doesn't even move much in general. So basically you want to put a nice little strafe into it and then throw the crouch spam in as well, just so you're not only going left to right, but you're also going up and down. So you want to have it nice timing. You want to make the strafe go along with the crouch spam as well, so that it all fits together, and you don't want to mess up your shot with it, because I see a lot of people will be crouch spamming like crazy and then they don't hit any shots, so it's kind of very like defeats the purpose of it. So you want to be able to crouch spam and also maintain your accuracy. So you don't want to be crouch spamming too hard. You just want to do it a nice little pace. The crouch spam should honestly work for your aim, as you can see here in this clip with the wingman shots. They're all just kind of, it's working for me. I'm using my strafe to assist with my aim to kind of lead the shots into the dummy, and it helps out a lot if you can do it this way. So you don't want to crouch spam too hard. You want to throw a nice one in there so you get that perfect mix of good movement and also good accuracy, because they're both equally important. So that's pretty much it for crouch strafing. It's very effective, like I said, in close range fights. So you just want to practice doing that. And one thing I do want to note is that I do play on button punchers, so my crouch button is my right analog stick. It could make it a little bit difficult to aim, but I'm so used to it by now. So it's very helpful for me, and it's very comfortable for me since I don't have to take my finger off the analog stick just to be able to aim. So the next thing I want to talk about is canceling fall stagger. So as you guys know, in this clip I'm showing you right here, when you fall, you're staggered. you are slower for a little bit of time. It takes a second to be able to run again, and this could be potentially dangerous for you. So basically the premise of this tip that I'm going to be showing you is when you fall, if you can kick a wall right before you hit the ground, it will completely cancel the jump stagger, since it's going to be registering you as falling from the height at which you kicked the wall. So as you can see here, right after I kick the wall, I run perfect speed, like full speed, right away, no fall stagger, and it could be helpful in a lot of different situations, especially if you're like falling out of the drop ship. I know a lot of times, you know, there will be enemies waiting for you when you drop out, so if you can kick a wall, it could help you out because you could get that extra bonus movement speed instead of just hitting the ground and then being able to laser you for free. So although it is pretty situational, practicing it and getting good at it could be something that could help you out a lot. So the next thing I want to talk about is zipline jumping. So zipline jumping is a little bit difficult on console just because I believe it's something that scales with FPS. So the higher FPS you have, the easier it's going to be able to do this consistently. But basically what you want to do is you want to press square or interact and then jump when you're on a zip line, and this will super jump you into the air, and it's very useful on maps like Kings Canyon where there's those zip lines right next to the building, because if you do this properly, you'll be able to jump on top of the building for free. It's also useful if you're a Pathfinder main, or in general, just all zip lines in general, especially zipline buildings. You can do this on vertical zip lines. You can press square, jump, and then you will go right up and be able to shoot the person for a quick second before you fall back down, so it boosts you up to the next floor. It's very useful. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the streamers do it, and it's pretty easy to do as well, so you just want to practice that. It's something that the timing has to be right, but basically you just want to press the interact button and the two jump buttons immediately. You want to basically press it as fast as you can, so square, jump, and you will go up in the air, and you'll see it's much different than a regular jump off a zip line, so you'll see the difference immediately. And like I said, it's pretty useful, although situational, but there are a lot of zip lines in the game, especially in Capital City and in Kings Canyon. You're going to see a lot of use from this, so definitely practice it so you can get good at it, because it could be very helpful. So the next movement technique I want to talk about is called super gliding, and this is pretty much a new movement technique that a lot of people haven't exactly mastered yet, but I feel like I've gotten the timing just right, and I'm able to do it pretty consistently. As you can see by these clips, I do it back to back fairly often, and I do it a lot of times in games as well, and it's very useful because a lot of times you'll be fighting around a crate or a rock or something, and if you can grab onto it and super glide immediately, you're going to be able to pull off a really cool play. So I'm going to show you guys here how to do it. So basically you're going to want to climb onto a climbable object, whether that be a crate or a rock, like I said before, and the second you see your hands and you get to the top, you are going to want to press jump and crouch at almost the same time. It's basically the same time, but you want to press jump just like a split second before. So it's basically the same timing. You're basically going to want to do it at the same time, but if you can get that if you want to get it perfectly and do it consistently, the jump has to come like a fraction of a second first, and it's going to propel you and launch you a lot farther. As you can see in this clip, I'm going to show you guys I showed you guys exactly how much farther it boosts you, and this is very effective in a lot of different situations. I think I did it in one of the gameplays I had on the screen, but basically it launches you so far that the enemy is going to be thrown off a little bit, and you're going to be able to get the jump on them, especially if you're like, you know, moving back and forth behind a rock. They're on the other side of the rock. You can fly over their head, turn around, and fry them pretty easily. So although it is very difficult to perform a lot of the times, I feel as though if you can get the timing right, it's not random like a lot of people believe it to be. But this is definitely a movement technique that takes a lot of practice, and you're not going to be able to get perfectly and consistently right away. But overall, it will help you guys out a lot if you can get used to it. So I actually have two additional tips for you guys, and this is how to loot on controller and just how to do it while moving as well, because I feel like a lot of people don't move while looting on controller, and whereas you can't exactly strafe left and right in a box, there are tips to make you move in the box, like one being jumping over the box. So this is a strategy where basically you hold square or interact while you're on the box, and right before, as you know, there's like a little timer, and right before you're about to finish that timer and go into the box, you want to do a little jump over the box, and then that way, if you can get your armor swaps quick, you can basically get it before you even hit the ground. It's very effective for armor swapping, and I literally do it all the time. It's so useful. As you can see, I've done it multiple times in the gameplays in the background as well, so you guys have probably seen me do it, but it's so effective, so I want you guys to practice this for sure. But there's also another movement technique where you can basically sprint while you're in the box. This one is more situational, and you won't find yourself using this one as much, so it's not as important as getting the other one down. But basically, if you put on auto sprint and you move your analog stick forward and you open up the box, you can basically continue to sprint while in the box. So this also makes for quick armor swaps. It's a little bit harder, a little bit more situational as well, but it is very effective if you want to get the hang of it. But I definitely recommend you guys trying the first method, where you basically hold down the square button, and right before that little circle finishes the action and you go into the box, you want to do that little jump, and you can get armor swaps so quickly that way, and it'll save your life so many times. So definitely try it out, definitely practice it, definitely get used to it. It will save your life a lot, and it's a very, very important movement technique that you should practice. So I think that's pretty much it for today's video, but if I forgot anything, I usually forget, a couple of things. So if I forgot anything, like I said, just comment below, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.